everybody? Welcome back to the Prop Stars. We are live. Another edition here on 1/20/26. Got my boy TJ here. Man, this is what it's all about. This is the time of year. We just had an exciting Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Games all over the place. Of course, we're going to start off this national championship game. There's coaching, carousel decisions, and moves. We had major playoff games and storylines that broke down in the NFL. But TJ, I want to kick it to you. The University of Miami played their ass off last night. I was pulling for them. I thought the matchup looked even. There's all kinds of little creases within the story. What do you think? How do you feel? And what's your first take on your Hurricanes' performance in the championship game last night, sir?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Thanks for listening. First, I have to say happy birthday to my future wife, my beautiful fiance, Barbie.
Happy birthday, Barbie.
Today.
And Briella.
Yep, and Briella a couple days ago.
And Briella, don't forget baby Briella.
She's an amazing partner. She's supportive. She's loyal. She lets me do this podcast as many days of the week as we need it. But
what a lady.
I feel like you can never do enough for someone you love that much, but she's, we're trying to shower her with some nice dinners and some nice gifts. But happy birthday, baby. I love you. And now to the game. As a Hurricane fan, it wasn't too heartbreaking because you felt like at least we fought. Good morning.
Hi, baby. There's my beautiful wife.
I feel like, we're both very blessed. I do feel like let me pull up our show so we get some more viewers on there, right? Anyways, we got beat on special teams. I feel like our defense played our asses off. We came out in the second half after being very conservative in the first half and started moving the ball pretty easily, I'd like to say.
Was that crystal ball being too conservative in the first half?
Honestly, I think it was more – I was having flashbacks of Bill Belichick calling defenses for Indiana. I mean, they were bringing 3 guys on a pass rush, dropping 8 back. And we didn't really have answers for it early. We never. What do you do when they bring 3? You have all day in the world. You go downfield, right? You can run the ball. We tried to run the ball. We couldn't run the ball. They were stuffing the run at first. We never took a shot downfield. I want to say Beck's furthest ball in the air was late in the second quarter, and it traveled 20 yards in the air. We never once put the safeties on their heels. So I think that's part of it. But I also think that special teams, of course, crushed the Miami Hurricanes, right? I mean, a missed field goal, a blocked punt for a touchdown. And look, we lose the game on the last possession. With all that, with some questionable penalty calls.
Oh, you guys, you were there.
I don't think we got robbed. I think they were the right calls. But I just think there's so much hand battling. And then look, the times that we don't, like, they're throwing back shoulder fades and like the coverage is so good and they're just making plays. And it's so hard to defend it without pass interferencing them. I hate when teams throw into coverage and they get rewarded for pass interference calls. You know what I'm trying to say?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So let me tell you something for our listeners. It's one thing if you run an out and up and I jump on the out and you break my ankles and I pull you down and it would have been a 50-yard gain and it's pass interference. That's one thing. Me and Jeremy.
But it's also in college. It's not even. It's just a foul. It's not a spot penalty like that.
Yeah, it's not a spot penalty, right? And me and Jeremy were having this conversation on Sunday night. But if I'm covering you one-on-one and I have you locked up, I don't like when they don't a lot of times referees reward the bad throw, right? So if you're with a defensive back and the receiver gets by him a little bit and the quarterback underthrows it drastically, he's got to run back to the ball. If there's contact made there, it's on the cornerback,
it's a penalty.
Right? Yeah. It's just, I think defensive pass interference needs to be looked at where if you are there and you're covering it like a blanket, how else are you supposed to cover it without making contact with the receiver. I'm on you like white on rice. I have to bump you. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, we see it every day in football, like where a quarterback will underthrow it and a guy comes back and gets a call. Like it happens every day.
Now, I don't think this really happened with the Hurricane game, but there was some tough penalties on Miami that extended drives. And I truly think Miami was the better team. I'm not just saying that. I questioned if we were, and you text me early in the game kind of saying something like, you guys belong. Not like we were going to win, but.
No, but the eye test, you looked even. I watched your first couple drives. Obviously, I was running around. You guys looked even. You looked like you matched up.
We came out flat. It was a great game.
I thought y'all were nervous.
Yeah, if you want to say Indiana was the better team, it was just cool to watch. It was cool to watch
that Ray Lewis and them on the sidelines.
It was.
Do you think Ray Lewis and them on the sidelines? Go ahead. Let me let you say.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We knew we were going to have the alumni on the sidelines. I mean, it was Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, Edgerrin James.
Do you think that was a distraction?
No. I mean, that's the motivating factor. I mean, I thought our defense was so locked in. We were crushing Mendoza early. I think that it was, Tyson, I don't know if it was like self-promote. I think Miami, there's just a different kind of love. Now, look, every school has their own storyline. Now, I'm UCF alum. I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. I don't like the argument. Well, I've never met a Miami Hurricane fan that went to Miami. Yeah, it's a private school. So the Miami fans are fans that grew up down in South Florida, right? They're just a different culture. It's not like Texas A&M or Alabama or anything like that, or the Florida Gators where you went to that school. But the alumni are starting to push harder, and it just helps with recruiting when these guys are on the sidelines. It might be a little bit of a distraction, but it helps with recruiting. But back to the game, I just felt like at first, I didn't feel like Miami was the better team for sure. I felt like we belonged, but I didn't feel like we were the better team. But as the game went on, you just felt like if there was one more quarter, we could have won the game, right? But either way, you tip your hat to Indiana. They went undefeated. They turned this program around in 2 years. They had the Heisman Trophy winner, and the Heisman Trophy winner had a Heisman Trophy type of play, right? Running that QB draw, such a ballsy call on 4th and 5. And not only was it a ballsy call, it really didn't open up like the Red Sea. He had to make a cut.
And he spun and caught his balance.
It was a ballsy cut where you could have argued he could have put his head down, and he probably would have been about a half a foot short. No, sorry, not a half a foot, a half a yard short if he just would have put his head down. But he actually read the block, and to watch him, and then he muscled his way into the end zone. But that first cut got him the first down, and then muscling into the end zone was that Heisman play that you're always waiting for. Now, he got that after he got the Heisman, obviously. But it was a great game to watch. It got better as the game went on. And, it was great to see Fletcher and baby Jesus. And man, what's the offensive lineman's name? It's going to be a first-round pick. He was mauling people. I mean, I thought we were beating up Mendoza. Man, Mendoza had a bloody lip on, which we all agree was a cheap shot for sure. And they didn't call it because he was part of the play, but it was a cheap shot. Should have been called. Definitely agree with that. But we were hitting Mendoza hard. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we just deserved it was a great game. We don't deserve to win. It was just a great game. I felt like we were getting momentum, even though we were down 2 possessions kind of late. And then baby Jesus has that miracle run. And then Indiana false starts on 2nd and 1 that holds them to a field goal. And then we're marching the ball down the field. Yep. Francis Moago, however you say his name. But it was just an amazing game. It was an amazing run by Miami. And I question if Miami will be back soon. I know we're going to lose a lot of players, but we're also getting back a lot of players. We'll have baby Jesus and Fletcher back for one more year.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. Some of the things that I saw, it just seemed like on big third downs, you couldn't get off the field. And for whatever reason, right. Like on a couple of those plays, there was like confusion. You didn't have enough DBs on the field and the guys running to the left, and they called it out on TV. Like Mendoza read the mismatch, and that's late in the game. It's just a couple of crucial third downs. I thought every time they scored, you guys showed the life and you came back. And I think that's incredible.
No, you're right. And Wu-Tang,
think
it's not probably another 2. It's definitely another 2 because this is his first year of eligibility. He's got to be there for 3 years. And
yeah, he just
mark
balled
my
out in the
words,
championship game.
baby
10
Jesus.
catches, 122 yards.
He's never transferring, by the way. So that's a guarantee. Put my life on it. He will never transfer out of Miami. It was, hey, you got to tip your hat to Kirk Cinetti. It was a little weird sometimes because you're just watching like this 24-year-old running back like run over people, and you're just kind of like, man, it was, I wonder if I wonder if this was a great coaching job by Kurt Cignetti, or if it was a team that found a loophole and found a way to roster a bunch of 24-year-old dudes, 23, 24, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-old dudes, and they found a way to, find a loophole in the system. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this is the new age of college football. I was watching
you almost kind of feel this is like a little bit of a preface or a little bit of a foreshadowing about what other teams might be able to scheme or do off of this. It's crazy that Miami finally gets the chance to come back and get a little bit of luster back to the program. And they were the underdogs to an undefeated team. Obviously, as we talk about it, there's a little bit of news about Cignetti. We're talking about Mendoza, right? Mendoza could be a potential number 1 candidate. The Raiders were in the house last night, and they were kind of scouting a potential number 1 pick. Tom Brady's already on record. He wants to be a little bit more involved in the process.
What do you think?
They already got rid of Carroll.
Mendoza...
They're bringing in a head coach. So there's a lot of movement, and it could be a Mendoza type move over there with the Vegas Raiders. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask you, but yeah. Okay. So Mendoza is 6'5", 225. He's a very good athlete. And if you watched the game yesterday, he can make every throw to the far hash because Miami corners were playing a lot of bend, don't break early. We were not going to give up a big play, and they were peppering us on the outside on 10-yard stops. That is the first throw you look at when you're scouting a quarterback. Can he make a throw to the far hash?
It's not just a 10-yard throw. It's really like a 35-yard throw to get to that
35 yard. It's a 30 to 35-yard throw.
100%. And those are ropes.
And you have Miami, who might have at the end of the season might have had the best secondary in the NFL or in college football, and they could not jump on it. I mean, that's how fast the ball was coming out of Mendoza's hand. So he's 6'5", 225. He's a good athlete. He won the Heisman. He went undefeated.
Wu-Tang says he's really smart. The Wonderlick's not a problem for him.
No, he's a smart quarterback. Now, after saying all that, some of the people that I talked to on group chats do not believe he is not that Trevor Lawrence, Andrew Luck, John Elway quarterback coming out of college, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. He is not getting those accolades where he is a hands down, easy number 1 pick. A lot of experts are kind of saying, yes, he'll go number 1 or number 2, whatever.
Is that because of the lack of depth that's in the draft coming up?
That's what a lot of people are saying, right? So it's the lack of top talent. But it's weird to say that when a guy, I'm going to repeat it again, 6'5", throws a rope, processes quickly, 225.
Sounds a lot like Ryan Leaf.
I mean, he's tough as nails. Yeah, but Ryan Leaf.
No, I'm just literally Joe. I'm just talking shit. I'm not even really.
Yeah,
I'm not confident.
Josh Allen is a similar comp, but obviously
you got Ferratos in here. Yeah, that's Santos right there.
Oh, nice. Josh Allen.
He wants to hear the New England talk. This is why he's here. But we're getting to it, Santos.
We'll talk about that. Santos, welcome to the show. We have to follow a strict order here, or our producer will be on our ass. So, but listen, I think Mendoza, it's going to be a bad fit for the Raiders early on, right? I mean, give me their top 3 receivers. Don't tell me Brock Bowers, right? Give me their top 3 receivers. Because watching them yesterday, Mendoza, I don't think found an open guy except for the 10-yard stops on the sidelines. I mean, there was nobody that was open.
Maybe
He could
Mendoza,
only
and
throw
I
back.
think his name is Besh. I think Besh is going to be that rookie from the Raiders who's going to continue to develop over there as the
Yeah, and they
receiving
have
core.
Tucker, right? You have Bowers and
Right.
Getty, but they don't have weapons. But do you go out and do you get Mendoza on that 4 to 5 years where you're getting that discount, right?
Do you think Tom
But
Brady's
yeah.
into that? Is Tom Brady going to go take a good quarterback from a weak crop? Or is Tom Brady more comfortable with going and figuring out your QB position and continuing to build your roster? I mean, you said that you got to have a young rookie quarterback on, and we're going to talk about the CJ Stroud with a 4-year contract, option to take a 5th year kind of thing.
Yep.
That's how you build your franchise. That's how you get talent in there. You can't really go sign somebody else if you want to build this roster from the inside, right?
I think if you could only do what you could do, right? And you have the number 1 pick. And if you don't go get Mendoza, right? If you don't go get a guy that just won the Heisman, that went undefeated, and he has all the, and then and you could have Brady somewhat mentor him. I would love, remember how John Gruden used to interview the quarterbacks?
Yeah.
I would love to see Brady just do that with Mendoza on TV for 30 minutes and watch them analyze everything, because I think that Mendoza hasn't looked great because he doesn't have the weapons. I don't think Mendoza had the weapons at Indiana. He didn't have barn burners. He didn't have speed. So he's not hitting open guys because there's nobody open, right? These guys were big body dudes that were a little bit older, a little wiser, but could not break coverage, right? They couldn't get open. So that's why I think Mendoza didn't light it up statistically.
Yeah, he only had like 170, 80 yards, whatever it was. And his receivers, they didn't really have any crazy stat lines, but that dude Becker just kept making the catches on crucial third downs. You know what I mean? Like, is what it is.
2 back shoulder fades, which were huge. And it's going to be interesting, but I think there's a no doubt.
So Mendoza goes to the Raiders. He's the number 1 pick.
To the Raiders,
You have to, right? Too many. Can't get cute with it.
Unless they get a haul, because if you see an owner that's like, wait a minute, if we could trade up, if you're the Jets and you can go get them, but I think if the Jets are going to go get him, Mendoza's going to do.
Well, let's just ask Gene right now. Gene, are you a fan of Mendoza? Because if so, you're a fucking mush, and we're not fucking drafting him. Like, the Raiders will not draft him if they find out you're a fan of Mendoza.
Yeah,
so.
Tom Brady's watching this, and he won't draft him.
This is very big deal right here. What do you think about Cignetti? Didn't you have some breaking news about Cignetti?
Yeah, we have reports that the Buffalo Brass flew out of Niagara Falls International Airport at 6:45 this morning. He is flying down to Miami, and Curt Cignetti is at least taking the interview. I wanted to make sure we got that source confirmed. We did. They flew out at 6:45 a.m., ice cold weather, frozen runways. The Buffalo Brass is down in Miami having breakfast with Curt Cignetti, whatever that means.
That does kind of go right into like our
Curt Cignetti has been very public about, I'm a college coach.
He's a college coach. Right.
But I heard after that QB draw they saw, Buffalo Brass was like, wow, I could see Josh Allen running those type of plays. Maybe McDermott doesn't have that. Yeah, Wu-Tang, he already said he isn't meeting with any NFL teams last night. Exactly. You want to know why? Because now his price just went from $15 million a year to $20 million a year. Everybody says that. I'm staying put. I'm Lane Kiffin. I'm the coach of Ole Miss. I'm not leaving. But why is he right now having breakfast with the Buffalo Brass? Who knows?
No, yeah, that's interesting, man. Cignetti definitely seems like a straight dude. Cool guy, wants a beer. You know, he put together a hell of a season, brought a little bit of a thing to the Hoosiers where they've never even been involved in football before, and they had a dominant season.
Wu-Tang, he's been saying it since there was rumors that when he was with James Madison.
I think it puts a bit of a feather on the cap too, though, for the Hoosiers for their first title to beat a team like Miami.
Never going to the NFL. Nick Saban was never going to the NFL. Nobody's ever going anywhere. until they do.
Pete Carroll was never going to the NFL.
Yeah. But anyways.
But so you think that all right, so let's get right into it. We got a bunch of coaches changing position, and Cignetti, obviously. It's kind of
let's talk about the Buffalo Broncos game, because some of the coaches, it's like, I don't care who's coaching the Browns, right? I mean, it's like, it is what it is. But let's talk about the first game. I mean,
all right, let's break in the games.
Everybody agrees McDermott was unfairly fired, right? But that's the first
100%.
game. Keep it in order. We'll talk about that game for Gene, and then we'll talk about the firing of Coach
all right,
McDermott.
So Buffalo Broncos, they go in there. They're the Buffalo defense again for the umpteenth time in a row. Josh Allen's won a playoff game and made the playoffs 6 years in a row, and every single time they give up like 30 points in the playoffs. The Buffalo defense is a problem, right? You have the Broncos, and Bo Nix get a crazy interception late in the game. I think it's one of the linchpins of the game. I think that Brandon Cooks, Santos and I talked about this. Brandon Cooks looked like he had possession of the ball and he was down before the defender had his hands on it.
Yeah.
Now, the defender was reaching for it, and the rules change whenever there's dual possession and the defender gets all of the benefit, right?
Yep.
I thought he was down before the defender ever had his hands on it. And if he's down and Cooks gets credit for that catch, obviously they're on the 20 and Josh Allen goes through, and it's then the Patriots playing the Bills and an actual great match. It's not Jarrett Stidham going into the next matchup. I think it changed everything, man. And of course, Bo Nix got to go down. He makes the plays. Bo Nix breaks his ankle. Bo Nix is out. And this is like the bed that we're left to deal with. And it's an unexciting game. Like, the Patriots are getting a full touchdown advantage over the difference of Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix. I did not know that it is the same Stidham. I had to look it up. That used to back up Tom Brady. Sean Payton loves him. He was arguably a playing time guy that was going to get a job before Bo Nix came in. Is Jarrett Stidham a Nick Foles type dude who's going to continue to have a chance? And do you think that the Bills were unjustly knocked out of this game? I mean, obviously Josh Allen did not play his great game. The Bills defense was not there. I think that's why McDermott lost his job, right?
Yeah, I mean, the storyline is like, was that Brandon Cooks a catch or not? I feel like
this is just a lot to unpack. I know that was a lot to drop on you, but that was everything that matters to me out of this fucking situation, because it drives me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so let's be real. If it's a 50-50 ball, I think that the ref should let them fight it out. And it was 50-50. It was really close. And the Broncos and the Broncos guy won the battle, right? If it's really close, just like a fumble, whoever wins the scrum on the bottom gets the ball, right? That's just the way it goes.
But you don't think he was down on that, like, before?
Yeah,
because
the whole
hard.
I
mean, that's all the NFL talks about it. And then you saw which we'll get into. There's another catch that happens later where, Devontae Adams makes the catch and he was down before the ball comes out, blah, blah, blah. It's different.
Yeah, I don't think the Bills lost because of that. I mean, I think it was unfortunate that after that, there was 2 pass interference calls that both impacted that game. I think Josh Allen fumbling with 20 seconds to go in the first half to end the first half to give the Broncos a free 3. I mean, he had 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles, right? Now, Josh Allen's the best quarterback.
Yeah, it was 10-17. Then it went to 2017, right? On that last field goal. Because
that was huge. I mean, it was a huge fumble. And it was such a lack of discipline fumble because Josh Allen was holding the ball.
I agree, Santos.
Holding it not properly, and he got overconfident, and Josh Allen fumbled, right? He had 4 turnovers. That's why the Bills lost.
Sure.
It was because he had 4 turnovers. Now, he's still a great quarterback, and it was unfortunate that the Bills and Broncos game, everybody's so focused on the Brandon Cooks play. I hate the pass interference calls after that just gifted the Broncos the victory without having to really, earn a play. But yeah, is Stidham going to be the guy? I don't know. I know that he knows that offense maybe better than Bo Nix. I think that I'm pretty sure Franklin's going to be out. So that's a big weapon for the Broncos. I think Stidham's not going to be a guy that gets it done with his legs as much as Bo Nix, right? And it would be great to have Pat Bryant, Franklin, Sutton, RJ Harvey, Evan Ingram, and Troutman all catching balls, right? But it's, it's
a home game. He's going to have to game manage. If you're going to give me a stat line where Jarrett Stidham doesn't shit the bed, I'm talking like he throws 165 yards, probably has like 12 completions. They run the shit out of the ball. Defense holds up and maybe throws a touchdown to RJ Harvey or a tight end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Glenn, I think you're right. I don't think Glenn, I don't think that's. I think it's a good comparison right now because he hasn't won the big game. But Jim Kelly did get to 4 Super Bowls. Josh Allen hasn't been to one yet, but Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, but he has not done great in big games, right?
So how does McDermott lose his job in this? And then his GM, who's responsible for the roster and the lack of receivers, Shavers, Palmer, Coleman, Khalil Shakir, whatever. Khalil Shakir is their number 1, and he gets promoted to GM, from GM to president of football operations. And then he gets to replace the head coach and his own GM, and he's the one responsible for this awful receiving core. Made no sense that he was bragging in the preseason about, well, we went and got Palmer. Palmer was not that big of a signing, and he made it sound like it was something that was bigger than what it was.
Yeah, they were hoping for that. I mean, this is the thing. There's a salary cap in the NFL. So they have a star left tackle. They have a star running back. They have a star quarterback. And they've had a star cornerback in Tre'Davious White, who's kind of dropped down. You could only spend your money in so many places, right? So they built that roster to win. And literally, what are we talking about here? You cannot be results oriented when you're coming to making decisions. The Bills could have easily won this game and been the AFC Championship game. Do you fire McDermott if they're in the AFC Championship
game?
They
just praised McDermott for beating the Jags.
Yep. You don't fire McDermott. It's a ridiculous fire. The coach's job is to make you competitive and to get you there and to make the right decisions late. They made the right decisions late. Josh Allen was a little reckless with the football, or really reckless, but to fire McDermott after pretty much being in the AFC Championship game is ridiculous. There was nothing egregious about his coaching. And if Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over 4 times, and the thing is, every time you watch the Bills this year, they're moving the ball at will. McDermott is it's just a ridiculous firing. The Bills have won the division 5 straight years, not counting this year, obviously. Josh Allen has a winning record in the playoffs. What did you say on the pre-show? Every time they've made the playoffs, they won the opening game. So, they don't go into the playoffs. And it's not like this roster is the most amazing roster we've ever seen. And also, you have to look at the competition, right? There's a reason why, Jeff Van Gundy or Pat, you don't get fired when you're playing against Michael Jordan every year or LeBron James. You just try to keep on battling. Josh Allen has ran into some juggernauts, and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson this year was bad quarterback play and bad luck. Josh Allen's going to have 10 more years to get to a good spot, right?
He turns 30 this year.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. You know what I mean?
So
obviously,
let's say 6 to 8 more years in his prime.
6 to 8 more years, right?
He takes care of himself.
So just to play devil's advocate, because obviously I was asking you this pre-show, do you think that John Harbaugh still signs with the Giants if this Buffalo position would have been open? And do you think that he would like the setup of a Josh Allen, James Cook, and some of those potential pieces there with the tight ends? Or do you still think that the Mara family and what he's doing with Shane and what's going on over there was definitely more of his fit?
All right, so I'll say this. Let's go back to what you said about the GM. What do you think the Bills' record is if they don't have Josh Allen as the quarterback?
They're not getting to 12 wins or whatever it is, you know?
I don't think they win 7 games.
Sure. We could definitely make a case for that.
So I think as a head coach, taking a job because of one player is very dangerous, right? Because if you take the job and Josh Allen gets hurt, then you're like, what the fuck did I just do, right? Where if you're the Giants, if Dart gets hurt, let's just assume we have Winston or a backup, right? That's a good enough roster. They can overcome, I think, next year and years to come. I don't think the Bills have an amazing roster. And I think if you take Josh Allen out of that, now this is after I was kind of just saying you can
Then they're
only
way
spend so
more
much money.
pedestrian. It's just him
Yeah.
as a blue chip that makes them more likable.
Yeah, so I think Harbaugh would have something to think about because that Buffalo Bills job is sexy. Wu-Tang says love to see them interview Flores, get them defensive sided, right? Defensive minded, and like kind of create a defensive culture. Yeah, I'm saying the Giants. I know what you meant. Better roster than the Bills. I think going into next year, I think it's close. I'm saying, let's say Josh Allen gets hurt, Wu-Tang. Yeah, I think the Giants going into next year, I think if you put Josh Allen on the Giants, they do better than Josh Allen on the Bills. I think that. I don't think I'm crazy for saying that.
We got a buddy a few of us know, Matt Sharkey, was proposing something crazy, saying that this is now the perfect opportunity for the Eagles GM to pull a move, Howie, whatever, and go and trade a couple of first rounders for Josh Allen, trade Jalen Hurts away. I'm like, bro, you're smoking crack. He was like, no, it makes sense. I'm like, it does not make sense. What are you talking about? Who's going to go give me Hurts over Allen and two first rounders?
Barbie knows more about sports than Sharky. So, I mean, but yeah, the Bills are not trading Josh Allen. Josh Allen runs over defenders. He's not soft. He's an amazing player that hasn't put it together in the playoffs. But Josh Allen gets to the playoffs every year.
It just seems like there's always something in his way. If it's not Mahomes, it's not Lamar, it's not Joe. This year's Bo. You know what I mean?
I'm like, really competitive. The NFL is really competitive, and it's sometimes breaks don't go your way. Josh Allen had to run into Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I'm not making excuses for him, but Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL, and there's no doubt about it. And it's just he got really unlucky. Plus, he did not play his best game, but every time they needed him at the end, he moved the ball right down the field, and he threw a ball to, Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks just didn't come down with it.
Call Williams soft to USC, but Allen is a competitor. Yeah. I think we just see Josh Allen and the brand of football that he plays and the way he lowers his shoulder coming from Wyoming.
And not everyone's calling Caleb. Caleb Williams was called soft because he didn't win that many games in college and he was in the spotlight. Tyson, as a Bears fan, was on record saying, "Hey, I don't know if I want this guy." There was some
painted his nails. It's a little
the painting the nails thing wasn't a big thing, but Caleb Williams has shaped his legacy, and I think
Tyson paints his nails.
Yeah, but and I'm not even being hard on Tyson for this because I knew what he meant. He was saying, "I don't know if he's worth all this hoopla." Now we see he kind of is. It's okay to change your stance on people. Josh Allen isn't soft. Caleb Williams was soft because we didn't see that much of him. And now we see more of Caleb Williams, and we see he's a great playmaker and he's got a very bright future. But Josh Allen, we see him crying on the sideline because
there's a lot of things people don't think are a big deal nowadays.
This is another year that Josh Allen just missed a great opportunity to go to
his age 30 season, man. You know how this thing goes. It's always in a history book. We'll talk about it. People talk about his prime. He's in the middle of his prime right now. This is prime Josh Allen, and he just had the weakest field that he's been against, and he couldn't get it done.
I'm okay with people. If you want to, I wasn't a fan of him painting his nails, because I was just saying that sometimes it's a leader man. I wasn't like that hard on, but I was like, I don't think you should paint your nails. I think that, but it's whatever. I also want you to be you. I want you to be you, because I think when you're truly yourself and you look in the mirror and you're not a fraud and you're like, hey, this is who I am. And that's how you truly become your best self. So yeah, people say, I know
I
people
think putting a hole in your body and then literally delicately painting something on your fingernails are different, but no big deal.
Yeah, but it's just be who you want to be. But either way, I respect Josh Allen because he's not scared to run over defenders.
100%.
And yet, guess what? He was super bummed out. You want to know why he was bummed out?
Because he played like shit.
He knew he had the Patriots next game too. And that would have been most likely a win. I still don't even know if the Patriots have a win.
All right, before we get to it, because I know Santos is here, so we could break that down. We got the Niners and Seahawks. This one should be kind of quick. Obviously, there was a lot of people that did put a lot of money on San Fran going late too, and I think it was definitely the Josh Allen effect. The Sam Darnold effect. Sam Darnold wasn't even necessary in this game. The guy he had the one touchdown to Jason. It was a kind of game that made every fantasy manager angry if you had Kenneth Walker and you got to see the potential without a Zach Charbonnet and what he could look like. Just goes nuts, 3 tutties, 100 yards. If Zach Charbonnet never meddled in that backfield, he'd be such a beast. But Charbonnet goes down. It did come out yesterday. That's a blown ACL. So that's going to be that's into next year. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's not good for Charbonnet. I was really liking him as a darling. 12 touchdowns, led the team, nose for the end zone. I think it's bad news for the Seahawks for sure. But they end up handling business. Raheem Shaheed comes out and outscores the Niners on the first play of the game. All it took was just 1 touchdown. And if you don't count the extra point, he tied them point for point. That's Raheem Shaheed's second touchdown really this season.
Yeah, Javi, I agree. Jaden Daniels probably now is out of those 4, right? Now you have Penix in there too. But yeah, out of those 4, I mean, Jaden Daniels, I mean, we have a lot to settle with that. This game was pointless. I will say this. I heard a guy say the Niners had everything to play for 2 weeks ago. They could have got the bye, and they could have got the win up over the Seahawks, and they couldn't do it, right? They couldn't get the win. So what's different now? And if you watch that game, the Niners could have maybe came back and won, but in the regular season game, but the Seahawks dominated them at every aspect, right? And then the Seahawks take the kickoff return for a touchdown, first play of the game, and that was it. Little did we know that would be the game-winning score.
Yeah, dude, we had no idea that was the game-winning score.
Now, I thought that Shaheed, I said when he went to the Seahawks, I'm wrong about a lot of things. I said Drake May wouldn't be good in the NFL. Just because I watched him play in college, I wasn't impressed. But I go, Shaheed will not have that much of a fantasy impact. Shaheed's fantasy value went down when he went to the Seahawks. But I go, in the playoffs, I always thought it was going to be an 80-yard bomb to Shaheed. But this was a kick return, and that's what makes trades. Seahawks have a scary defense, and now they have a scary special teams. They're dangerous.
Can you name another kick returner who would be better than Raheem Shaheed right now in the game?
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to be up there with anybody who you're going to want to talk about. He's one of the more dangerous weapons, and they're using him as something in particular now.
Yeah, he's a great kick returner. This is also a crazy stat. Yeah, Javi, you're so fucking biased, dude. I just want to throw up my laptop. Like, every time I hear you talk, I just want to throw. I'm just kidding. Javi knows ball. And Javi actually is pretty close to Penix, too. They played on similar teams together against each other. Javi told me he picked 6 Penix. Well, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I think that here's an interesting stat for all our listeners here. The Niners didn't punt the ball till halfway through the fourth quarter.
And that's unbelievable to me. How did they not punt and you get your ass kicked like that, right?
Yep. That was the first.
But that fourth down
of the game for the Niners.
So Shaheed comes out, they score. The Niners go down the field. They get a 4th down. They're in the red zone. Massive call, obviously.
Yep.
And they do a halfback pitch option to where he like goes to like even pitch it to Purdy, and the line, they were on the balance line way too quick. Seahawks blow the play up, and I felt it was never looking back after that. You know what I mean? It was just for Shanahan to call that and it looked like the Seahawks were just all over it. That play had no chance from the very beginning. There was penetration. They blew it up. And then you saw Purdy. He was looking surprised that he was even getting the lateral back. He was like, why didn't you just run it? I'm not getting it. Like, you could just tell it was a bad play. And it was over after that, man. What do you think about Shanahan scheming? Like, obviously, that was one of the reasons why they didn't punt. But do you think that was – I mean, you have to go for it. Do you take the points right there just to kind of get on the board? You know what I mean? Because we talked about this at length throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. If it's
you take the points right there.
It's a gimme. If it's a gimme field goal, you take the 3.
That was a pretty gimme field goal. They were within 30 yards.
Yeah. So if it's a gimme field goal, you take the 3. I don't like when teams kick 50-yard field goals on 4th and 3. I know that's what the situation. And I don't like when teams go for it on 4th and 3 when they can take a 25-yard, 30-yard field goal. Either way, nothing would have mattered. We knew the Niners were going to come to the screeching halt. Most Niner fans have said, look at our schedule. Look at why we're 12-5 or whatever they were at the time. 13-5, I guess, if you want to count the win. I think that was their record. But this was a team that, again, got crushed with injury. And
12-5. They were 12-5.
Yeah. You can only take so many hits where, no Kittle, no Pearsall, and no Brandon Ayuk. Jawan Jennings is supposed to be their number 3 or number 4, right?
He had 4 catches. I thought he was going to have a bigger game without all these other guys.
And I think he led the team in catches, maybe besides C-Mac. I don't know. But it was just a shame. I think that the Niners, this is the thing. I think
they did not make it to a conference championship game this year. That's for sure.
Yep. I think we're coming into a crash course with the Patriots and the Seahawks. I will say this also. Nobody could call the NFL rigged because this is one of the most unsexy Sunday championship days we've had in a very long time. Because you have the Broncos without Bo Nix. And then you have the Seahawks and Rams, which we've already seen twice. Now we got to see 3 times. The Patriots have had the easiest road you could ever ask for. And let's talk about that game. It was just so disappointing to see CJ Stroud just give it away. Like, give it away. If you watch the first quarter and a half of that game, the Texans were dominating them. And then not only are the Texans about to score to make it 7-7, then they get the most bullshit illegal motion penalty I have ever seen in my life, where a guy was in motion and the offensive lineman was going down for a 3-point stance. And since they had an extra lineman on the field, he was a defensive lineman. They brought him in for an offensive lineman play, and he went down for a 3-point stance, and they scored a touchdown. They called it legal formation. Would have made the game 7. It's just a fucking joke.
And then they hold him to a field goal.
And then CJ Stroud throws one of the worst pick sixes ever. And what I mean by that is he says hike, and he sees the blitz coming right away.
And his check down falls down on the ground to his left.
Check down.
All he had to do was throw the ball at him.
It's not exactly. And this is where the great quarterbacks like Tom Brady, I'm not going to compare everyone to Tom Brady, but the great quarterbacks just throw that ball away. CJ Stroud has been floating up balls for 6 quarters. He had 5 fumbles in the first game. This game, he had 4 turnovers in the first half, right? And it's one thing when you're earning a turnover, but it's another thing. CJ Stroud sees the blitz coming. You throw it away, buddy. That's it. It's not like he got blindsided and got hit.
It was a free runner, and it wasn't an immediate hit. He saw it coming, and he still chose to make the incorrect decision and try to throw it.
he throws like an out and up / wheel route on another interception, which was horrible. 2 interceptions by the Patriots where the defensive back is just he those were I'm not a Patriot hater. I like the Patriots. I love Drake May. I think it's good when the Patriots can win because they're kind of like that still that evil empire kind of vibe, right?
Well, all right.
And
So let's talk about a couple things, okay?
yeah,
They held the Chargers to 3 points.
yeah.
They just held the Texans, right, to 16 points. They've given up 19 points in 2 games. Okay. Now, Foxborough is a real thing in the winter. It's not easy to play. There's a lot of plays that you could see where players aren't quite able to elevate, to even jump, or to make the cuts. Everything's just slower and it's harder in the snow and the cold and the ground and the freezing. They are definitely they were ranked the 8th defense in the league, but they're outplaying that. I mean, they took out the number 1 defense in the league. They took out another top 10 defense in the league in the Chargers. And you have to, at some point, understand Vrabel, the situation where they're playing. They're probably going to hold Denver to a very low total as well. Right?
It was just crazy. Okay, yeah, and we could
and obviously you only play your schedule and you play who it is. And it's just crazy, though. You're talking about points that are on paper, and you're talking about another situation.
I'm not taking anything away from the Patriots, but it's just been when you're watching sports, like you're watching the Texans game, you're just like, okay.
Would you have benched CJ Stroud? This is the big conversation. Would you have put in Davis?
No, I would have benched him. I would have benched
him. Last game too, right? Last game too?
Yep, I would have benched him.
So would Davis Mills been your starter in this game?
I would have gave CJ Stroud a shot. And it's not like you're throwing the interceptions. One was tipped, but it was such a high throw. CJ Stroud, we've used this quote a little more frequently, was seeing ghosts. And after his 5 fumbles,
says he's turning into Sam Darnold. I know that was their take on his other show.
Yep. And that's, and until he snaps out of that. Now, the reason why I was saying to bench CJ Stroud was the Texans defense was so good. I mean, look at the Patriots' first touchdown. They blitzed the farm. The DB guesses right on the quick slant, dives in and tips the ball.
Right into Demario Douglas.
Everything was right. And Demario Douglas makes one of the great plays you can make as a receiver.
You want to talk about Twitch and his adjustment, right?
Yeah, but just fluky shit. And I hope the Patriots keep going. But man, you're literally playing against CJ Stroud, who's seeing ghosts. On the first play, your first or not your first, but one of your first drives, you're kind of struggling moving the ball down the field. And Vrabel goes for it on 4th and 1, puts it in Drake May's hands. Drake May guesses wrong, throws a little behind him. The DB bats it up, and it's for a touchdown. Then the Texans march right down the field and get a bullshit illegal motion call, 7-3. Woody Marks fumbled in the red zone. It's just, now Drake May fumbled too, but that was because of the defensive line. One fumble was a horrible fumble by Drake May. The other 2 were because of the great defensive line. But it's just, I sound like a broken record, but the Patriots, who cares if you're a Pats fan, right?
It's crazy.
Right, now we
look
finally
at Gene. He's on the bandwagon. There he goes. He just ordered
He's
a
not
Brady
on the
jersey.
bandwagon. He's mushing it up right now. He's
really
saying
is
go
mushing
Patriots.
He's such a fucking mush.
He knows.
Get a May jersey, and I guarantee they lose, Gene. I'm telling you right now. Take a picture with a May jersey. Now, all right. So
yeah, you're right, Javi. Drake May, he probably won't win the MVP, but if he and now you guys are the favorite to go to the Super Bowl, and you get another just cakewalk in the Broncos. Now, does Stidham man up? He's at his stadium he's familiar with and all this stuff. I think it's going to be closer. Actually, I shouldn't say closer than what people think because I think Vegas has them at 4 to 5 point favorites. So
already, the line is a full touchdown difference from Bo Nix starting in that game. It is, I got it right here, 4.5.
Yeah, so if Bo Nix was playing, it'd be 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah,
6 points.
Patriots would be favored in New England if they were playing. Maybe, yeah. So it's like a 2-point swing. I think it should be more than that. I was hoping to see like 8
isn't
or
that
9.
like 6? It would be like, oh, you think it's only a 2-point swing? You think the Patriots would still be favored in there too?
New England would still be favorite if
really, even though they're not
home.
even the number 1 seed and they had Bo Nix.
Well,
I think that the Broncos would have been
no,
2 points.
You're right. I stand corrected. You're exactly right. I keep on forgetting. It's in Denver.
It's in Denver, yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been 2 to 4. It's a
exactly
touchdown
right.
swing.
You're exactly right. I stand corrected. You're exactly right. If it was if Bo Nix was playing, I think they'd be a 3-point favorite. So yeah,
sure. All right, I'm good with that.
You're right. You're exactly right. Touchdown over favorite, 7.5, 8 points.
Now, I guess for me in my own situation, Drake May also helped lead me to a fantasy championship this year. So it's funny how you just kind of have this little soft spot for some of these players and just watching Drake May go out and ball, So I'm like, I'm happy with Drake May doing his thing. He had 3 touchdowns, didn't play his best game, but he wasn't thrilled about it. He knows he needs to be better, and they have a real opportunity. It's not their fault that Bo Nix broke his ankle on 2 plays before the game.
It's not their fault, right?
They had nothing to do with it. And it's not their fault they're not playing Josh Allen because they have no fucking defense in Buffalo. So they just go out there, they play the game, and they're not even guaranteed to win the game. Denver could very well get that defense going, man. And like New England has shown that if things get behind, we haven't seen Drake May in the must-have-it drive yet in the playoffs. We haven't seen Drake May down. We haven't seen Drake May where he needs this fourth quarter moment. And maybe we get to see that. Maybe we don't. I'm not saying that I'm worried about Drake May. Josh McDaniels calls him Steady Eddie. He's not worried about a damn thing when it comes to Drake May. He's just same guy through and through. He's obviously showing a little maturity beyond his years. He's got the real shot to win an MVP this year. He's in the AFC Championship game.
Fumbles. He lost 3 fumbles, and I don't know what else.
Bro, you're playing the number 1 defense in the league. There were so many turnovers in that game. It was billed to be a defensive matchup, and that's exactly what it was.
I mean, Drake May had to throw his first touchdown, got tipped.
That booty catch was unreal.
His second touchdown, his other touchdown to Booty was crazy. Like he threw for 170 yards, and 70 of it or 60 of it was so fluky and good for them. But I don't trust Drake May yet. I
trust him right here.
I think the Broncos. I think Sean Payton is going to be. I mean,
I just watched him do it against. He did it on the road. He's done it against good teams, against good quarterbacks. He's done it at home.
What are we talking about here? He literally, in the game of his career so far at home, he had 4 turnovers and threw for 170 yards. Like that was he had 4 turnovers, 170 yards, and almost half of those yards he had to get lucky with an amazing catch or a DB tipping it up to the receiver.
Pigskin rolls funny, man. It really does.
Yeah.
I mean, he just either way, his stat line seems to be right in line with he's done all year long. Throw 3 touchdowns, mitigate some turnovers, and win a game.
I'll put it this way.
Does Drake May throw 3 touchdowns against the Broncos?
If Drake May this week has 340, okay, yeah, okay. So
he's mushing so hard.
Genie mush. Put it this way. Yeah, the first touchdown was on 4th and 1.
Right, that was the one he was talking about. It was the tip ball, Santos, and how it tipped right into DeMario's hands. We were there for that play. I was watching the game with Santos.
It was amazing. The DB planted, read it like a book, put his hand up, and hit it up, and Douglas made the catch. It was ridiculous. But I'm not convinced Drake May. I mean, Drake May is great. Good for him. He's doing great. And he's as a New England Patriot. But this has been like,
this is the same shit that everybody said about Tom Brady whenever he was going through and they were putting all the rings on Vinatieri's toes.
Brady, yeah, and exactly. Brady's first Super Bowl, the first couple Super Bowls, he didn't light the world on fire. And
he was getting them down there to kick a field goal, bro.
But Drake May has been just very lucky. And hey, rather be lucky than good, a wise man once said. So I feel like that. And now
we talk about how
they get the Broncos without Bo Nix. It's
a lucky play or a lucky scenario can catapult the team into a run. Look at what happened with Charles Woodson and the Raiders against the Patriots in that snow game all those years ago. Catapulted into a legacy and a
I
dynasty.
guess I just want, you know what I want as a Giant fan?
What do you want, TJ?
As a Giant fan, we beat the Patriots twice. And both times, I admit, like, we got lucky. Like, I don't hate the Patriots. We beat you guys both times in the playoffs. We were not the better team. We got lucky.
Ramondre is definitely the back right now. Ramondre looked great against the Texans.
They were weird games, and the Giants won both of them. I need some validation from Patriots fans just to be like, "Ooh, man, we're not great, but we're getting lucky. We got a young quarterback that's making mistakes everywhere, but we're finding a way to win the game. Look how Drake May started the Chargers game. Throws an interception inside his own 10-yard line. Like, I just want Patriot fans to be like, man, we're luck boxing our way in, but hey, we're still winning. I'd be like, who cares? You're winning. But I'm hearing Patriot fans of like dynasty talk. I'm hearing MVP talk. And yes, Ramondre is a downhill runner that looks amazing. And we said this as the season went on and Travion was having these big games, that I could see a lot of series where it's Ramondre, and then Travion toss, but Ramondre. And Ramondre, it looks bigger, stronger, faster.
He's such a good pass catcher. Had another 4 catches. I always look for the props, especially this next week, to take Ramondre on his receptions.
What they should. Yep.
Take the over on the prop receptions would be my pick for this next week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Well, the Patriots are winning what you should for sure, but stop with the fucking dynasty and Drake May MVP talk. Like, you guys played the Titans, the Jets, the Dolphins,
the Falcons, defense, the Saints,
the Falcons,
ran over the Bucks,
the Saints. Hold on. And then, yeah, I think I heard a stat. They didn't beat a team.
They beat the Jets twice.
They didn't beat a team with the winning record in the regular season. Good for you guys.
The Dolphins.
And, it is.
I was on record at the beginning of the year when we picked the Dolphins. I had them just under 500, or the Dolphins, the Patriots. I had them just under 500. I knew that the Vrabel effect was going to be real. I knew that they had an easy schedule. This is even why I even drafted Drake May, because I'm a big believer in easy schedules and quarterbacks and situations like that. I thought he was a great pick in situation. We did not know that they were going to dominate in a fashion. When they were supposed to win, they dominated. When they were supposed to lose, they were in the games and or won some of those, right? I mean, they've obviously exceeded expectations.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not giving anything to anybody. There was a game where nobody thought that the Broncos were going to beat the Panthers. Obviously, it's no Peyton Manning, but I'm never counting the Broncos and their defense out at Mile High. Things get weird, man. Things get weird.
I tell you what, if the Patriots beat the Broncos, I will be pulling a home equity line of credit out of my house to bet against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. I don't care who's playing.
Rather the Rams or the Hawks? Because I was about to say we should break down our last game, as you say.
New England will get embarrassed in the playoffs because they'll be one of the first teams they've played all year that isn't seeing goes. Like, CJ Stroud was so freaking nervous, and you're just watching. And then Nico Collins is out. But no, they still have Dalton Schultz. Schultz goes for a 45-yard gain and hurts himself. Now they don't have their 1 and 2 best options. I mean, it's just, and then they lose their best offensive lineman. And now the Texans, who were dominating that game, some bullshit penalty calls, some batted balls that go for touchdowns, are now all of a sudden, and no Tank Dell. All of a sudden, I mean, it's just crazy to think how lucky the Patriots got. All right, final game. You got Bears versus Rams. I mean, it was so crazy to watch because the Bears moved the ball right down the field. Didn't settle for 3 like I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't get settled for 3, but they didn't. They don't get the first down. Rams get the ball. Rams march right down the field and score. It's 7-0. Bears get the ball back. They move right down the field and score a touchdown. It's 7-7, and you're just like, here we go.
And it's the coldest game in Stafford's career. It was blanketed by snow. The running backs were balling. You had quarterbacks making decisions. You could see the uncomfortability from the Rams side. Obviously, you could tell they were definitely cold. The Rams defense has been sneaky good in situations. They forced Caleb into a couple of bad turnovers.
Yep. It was one of the greatest, and I agree, Gene, one of the great, and then the scoring stopped, right? The scoring halted, but you're kind of watching this game knowing, man, this is going to come down to one big play, one big catch, and then we get the Caleb Williams play
He
of
does
a
it
lifetime.
again. He did it again.
But this was like insane.
It was insane.
I think Javi brought up, which I thought was a great comparison. It was just like the Alabama Auburn catch a few years back when Milroe kind of had to run back. It wasn't as far, but it was close, and had to run backwards, and you just throw a ball in the end zone. And it was weird because as he threw it, I'm like, okay, he's just good for Caleb. He's at least giving his guy a chance to catch it. And I'm waiting to see a crowd of 3 or 4 people, because it just seemed like the ball was in the air for so long, but Caleb was able to get enough mustard on it, and Loveland runs it in the back of the end zone.
That's all gift right there, bro. That is all gift.
And it was crazy when you saw Caleb Williams run back. I'm assuming every Bears fan was just like, oh, it's over,
And, in that position, in that spot, we saw him the last game on a 4th down, falling down, drops it in the bucket to roam. And then in this game to sit there and hit Kmet. It was a great job by the refs, too, to have a no call because Kmet and the guy were kind of locked up, and they both kind of pushed each other. And the defender pushed off to try to block the ball, and Kmet pushed off to try to catch the ball. So it was like a great no call. And the fact that he just dimes.
Oh, it was Kmet. I'm sorry. I'm saying Lovin. It was Kmet, right?
It was just right here in the hand, like the way he caught it was just unbelievable, man. And it really did make you think that maybe this really is the Bears' year. Is this the special time, because that was another special play. His highlight reels this year through the playoffs, Ben Johnson's got him dialed up, and that throw was all him. It was just his strength, his talent, his ability.
Okay, yeah. I completely agree with you. I was so happy the refs didn't call that because you kind of felt it coming, right?
Right.
And it just didn't. I'm thankful they didn't call pass interference. Let them push each other for the ball, right? It's one thing if you're going like this, but if they got to.
But they both pushed off each other if you watch it. One went to block it, the other went to catch it. It's perfect no call.
For the most part, I thought the refs have done a good job keeping the flags in the pocket late, even in college and in the pros. Keep the flags in your pocket, except for the Broncos Bills game. I wish they would have done that more there, but whatever. It is what it is. But I do apologize. That was Cole Kmet. But it was it just felt, Gene, you're exactly right. It just felt magical. It felt special. And honestly, I'm a little bummed out today. Not because even the Hurricanes lost, but I didn't work Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And this was such exciting football. And I got everything I wanted. You know what I mean?
Right.
I most likely go back to work today, which, is fine. But it's I'm almost kind of I feel.
What's going on, Pitch Grow Pat?
What's up, Pitch Grid? Thank you for listening. I do feel almost saddened because it was such a great 3 days of sports.
Yeah.
And all you want is your best players to make big moments during big, you're right. And the way just watching Baby Jesus last night, to watch Mendoza make that play. You're watching Caleb Williams make that throw. You're watching, Puka make some big catches. You're watching.
Bro, did you see that catch with Puka after he runs in the end zone? Did you see him mic'd up? Did you hear his take?
No.
Oh, it was incredible. They had Puka mic'd up. They throw him the screen. He takes it, spins, takes the shot in the end zone, and he's just freaking out. And it's it's one of the better unmiked takes or mic'd up takes that I've heard. He's like, I lift weights, motherfucker. I lift weights. And he's just so hyped. He's such a big dude, bro. I'm like, yo, him going into the championship game, that's going to be incredible, dude. I'm so excited. I know you're saying it's not a sexy game, this and that and the other. The Super Bowl is in Santa Clara. If the Rams get through this game, Rams got a home game in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? This is a big deal, man. I think the Rams got a shot. Obviously, we're not previewing, but I love the way that they played. I thought that McVay and them were going to come out. I thought their defense was sneaky. And I love seeing, like you said, I was happy to see the stars perform. You got to watch Caleb do things. Puka was doing things. And the other game, you had, Drake
That
May
Caleb
and
run.
Bo Nix just making some things happen, bro. It was an incredible week. The Miami, watching baby Jesus play, I'm like, I don't care. You can sign me up. I'm drafting that kid as soon as I can in fantasy, bro. I just can't wait, man.
He will be coming out in two. He has 2 more full seasons as a college athlete, so it's going to be fun to watch. I'm trying to
2028. He's going to be a first, second round pick. He's going to be going one of those, special receivers, probably gets drafted in a great position with a great quarterback. He's obviously gifted by God. He's just going to end up with like the Chiefs, Pat Mahomes late run, and just ball out. It's going to be something stupid like that.
Yeah, it was so cool to watch Caleb Williams have that 26-yard run too, like late in the fourth quarter when you're just watching him run down the sideline, and it was just fun football. I enjoy it. Even as a Hurricane fan yesterday, I'm watching it with my dad.
Versus Puka. That'd be a great matchup.
I'm watching it with my stepson. I'm watching it with my boy that we've been watching football for almost 36 years together, we figured out. And it was just fun to watch. It's cool having your teams in. We wish we had our NFL teams in here. So I'm happy for the Patriots. Enjoy it. And for the Patriots fans. But
Santos trolls the shit out of me. He's like, it's America's team. Just like, such a thing,
fair enough. I just want to hear a Patriots fan admit, hey, we have looked like shit and we have luck boxed our way and we have gotten so
You're not going to hear it once. You know what they keep saying? You know what they keep saying, TJ? History. They keep saying it's been a really long 5 years since they've been in the championship game.
Fair enough.
Babies have been born. Children have started new schools. They're actually going into kindergarten since the last time Tom Brady had graced the field. It's a whole, 6-year generation gap. It's an awful thing for these Patriots.
You got Genie Mush over here. Just
you see him
rooting on the Patriots. It's like when you say Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. It's like, go Patriots, go Patriots, go Patriots. They lose by 30. Now, obviously, that might be the case if Bo Nix was playing. Since we have Stidham playing, we're going to probably have to wait, 3 weeks for the Patriots to get blown out in the Super Bowl? But dude. Either way.
And honestly, if Vrabel gets to the Super Bowl, I don't think he gets blown out, dude. I think Vrabel is a big reason why the Patriots have a little bit of this mystique going on this year, NFL coaching makes a world of a difference. There was 9 open vacancies this year. It's crazy to see the carousel go around. We'll see where everything else checks out. But the Patriots hit a home run by landing Vrabel.
And that's what I mean. Like, Vrabel has made his team competitive. And since they had the easiest schedule in NFL history, you make your team competitive. You're going to win, right? And the Bills just made a big mistake by having a coach that all he does is win playoff games and, puts his team in opportunities to win. And from a couple skeptical calls and a couple really bad fumbles,
Santos just said, we got lucky to get another quarterback.
You did get lucky, and good for you guys, because it's so crazy, right? When look at the Raiders this year. You know what the Raiders are thinking about? yeah, you guys are so fucked. But I think that look at the Raiders this year. They're like, man, because Mendoza is not the sexy pick, right? And they're just like, why couldn't this be 2 years ago when it was Caleb, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix, and then it was Penix and McCarthy, right? Were those all? So you're just kind of like, this year, it's Ty Simpson, Mendoza, and maybe Chambliss, who maybe Chambliss climbs
from
up.
Ole Miss. Yeah, he looked good, bro. He looked good. He looks like he's got a clutch gene in him. Like, looking at the eye test, that kid looks good.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting like Russell Wilson vibes in his prime with that guy, but we'll see. But all right, guys, I think we should wrap it up, right?
Yeah, man. We'll talk about the other games and whatnot later. We appreciate your time, and thanks so much for stopping by. It's going to be a great day. Enjoy your Tuesday, man. This is what it's all about, is this time of year, guessing, speculating, bring some noise to the table. We'll be back on Thursday to preview, man. TJ, I hope you get your day off, man. Just kind of enjoy, man. One love. Thanks for stopping by. Santos, Javi,
thanks,
our
Santos.
new guy,
Thanks,
Grid, Wu-Tang, Star Spangled. Everybody, we appreciate you in the chat, man. We need y'all. One love. Prop Stars out. guys, we're serious. You guys are fun. Gene's rooting for the Patriots.